فتح القريب المجيب في شرح كتاب مدن الحبيب. This is a commentary of a book known مغني اللبيب. So it's a super commentary on a grammar book, Arabic grammar book. Can you imagine non-Arab managed the Arabic language, not only speech, but even the science of the language? Then he can elaborate, explain. This is his work.
Been addressed to the outside, other international people, Ethiopians, even to the Westerners through other languages, or it has been only written in Arabic?
Yeah, up to my knowledge, it is only in Arabic language now. But many people know him in Islamic world. Many libraries own his work. For sure, even European libraries too, because they collect books, well-known libraries. But in Muslim world libraries, most of his work kept and read. Yeah.
Interesting.
This is as a sample. There are many. Yeah. So we can take also other prominent scholar, Haji Muhammad Thani Habib, who translated Quran with Sheikh Sayyid Muhammad Sadiq to Amharic language.
From Arabic to Amharic?
From Arabic to Amharic.
Actually, such kind of museum is rare to see in the capital, Addis Ababa. I guess this is the only place where people can easily experience and have the opportunity to visit the historical significance of Ethiopian history as a whole and Islamic heritage in particular. It's a very amazing museum for visitors too.
The two scholars has a lion's share in translating. There are a group of editors and also other board of translation board with them. Yeah.
So the Quran that Ethiopian Muslims are reading, translated by these scholars?
But these scholars from 1960s. Before that, they read in Arabic, then scholars translate for them in local language, in various local languages. Yeah. So if you take this man, this scholar, his name is Haji Umar Hussein Abdul Wahid. He was head of Islamic court.
Nice.
Yeah. He was president of the court during Derg period, and also very prominent Muslim scholars.
lHabeshi Museum.
Since the establishment of Bilalu lHabeshi Museum in 2010, there have been several collections of historical parchments and old manuscripts that have been preserved here. The museum has been drawing several domestic and international tourists from different parts of the world. Generally, this museum plays a paramount role by introducing our country's multi-history, culture, and the priceless heritage that have great values. I think this and other museums in the country would definitely bring foreign currency if they are preserved and promoted properly.
The other scholar of Hadith, also Haji Muhammad Rafi, also known by Hadith. He taught many scholars who graduated now and teach in various traditional schools. The other important personality which I don't want to miss him is this Sheikh, Sheikh Said Ibrahim Chale. His contribution, he wrote many poems in Amharic.
I see.
Elaborating Islamic principles and also praising the Prophet Muhammad in Amharic. His Amharic is very fluent and also attract many audiences. So his writing sung in Islamic gatherings, in many Islamic gatherings in local melody. Well known. You can hear it when you go in the street. maybe the sound is by other person, but the poem maybe...
The lyrics,
he composed most of the poems. So his contribution to Amharic literature is a lot.
I'm from the vicinity of Addis Ababa. I was told by some friends and families to visit this cozy museum. This is the very ideal place where one can see the ancient history of Ethiopia as well as the unique heritage of Islam history. There are several Islamic manuscripts, relics, and tools that show the tradition, culture, and literature works. It's an ideal place that promotes Ethiopia's history. I have learned so many things. For me, it's a privilege, and I'm proud as an Ethiopian and realize that we have such a museum that introduces the history of Ethiopia at large.
The very reason which I think that makes Bilalu lHabeshi different from others is that since the introduction of Islam to Ethiopia, the museum houses various historical collections. It also contains great Islamic scholars' work, like literature, spiritual books, philosophy, teachings of Islam, artifacts, and other paramount history.
So now, here also, there are many scholars from southern, western, and central Ethiopia. For example, in eastern Ethiopia, you can see this important scholar named Sheikh Bakri Sabalo. This scholar also invented script for Afan Oromo, his own invention, his own creation.
It's his masterpiece.
His masterpiece. It looks like this. Yeah. He taught his circle, his student, the script circulates in a small size, but later on the time period, politics does not allow him to teach more, so it is buried. It doesn't circulate to
due to the
broader
political situation.
So this is one of his orthography for Afan Oromo. It's an invention. So scholars, think also how this can serve the community.
Was it teaching the Oromifa language also?
Yes. This one is for Afan Oromo. When you see Arabic, when you see Amharic and other alphabets, he created alphabet for Afan Oromo.
So has his journey, right after the political situation, which did not help him to continue, succeed or achieving what he had it, right after that, is there any attempt that has been considered by scholars to continue and bring it to the generation?
No, just people only, now it became history. Many people spoke about his contribution, his intention by the period. Now already substituted by other alphabet. Now many books written in Latin and so, but his contribution by that time, before anyone, is a great contribution. So that we mention him here. So there are other scholars who ruled, for example, who worked as president of Islamic Supreme Council. We have some pictures like Sheikh Muhammad Aman and other Sheikh Muhammad Safi and other scholars also. This one also very important. He's a student of this Sheikh Bakri Sabalo. He translated Quran to Afan Oromo. Now his translation written in Latin. He also invented his own Latin writing system in 1970s. So now he represents some sounds which is used in eastern Ethiopia, like Kha, which Oromo of eastern Ethiopia use. He represented it, even which is not exist now in the modern Latin script, in the phonology of modern Latin. So now his work distributed in audio and also in printed form. Yeah, our museum also had it, but not displayed now.
Right.
Yeah, the other person which we can mention here, this man. By the way, I did my MA on his work.
Very good.
The contribution of Sheikh Muhammad Ali Jaju to Arabic literature, and one of his work is logic work.
Okay. Logic in Arabic form?
In Arabic language.
Okay.
Not modern logic, the formal logic, old logic. He discussed in his work, or normally it is explanation, commentary of, super commentary of another commentary.
I see.
He mentioned many scholars who defined knowledge. What is knowledge? How we get knowledge? And other issues which discussed in philosophy.
Epistemology of
Yeah,
knowledge.
epistemology of knowledge. He addressed. He mentioned definition of Aristotle's.
I see.
Can you imagine when this was done? In 1930,
Wow.
where, you know, by that time, no university in Ethiopia at all,
Yeah.
but maybe some training centers in the high
It
schools.
was kind of enlightenment.
Yeah, no, normally this kind of knowledge taught in traditional schools, not only logic, even medical, for example, books, medicine, traditional medicine, taught, astronomy,
Exactly.
also given in traditional school.
Sure.
Yeah, so there are others who wrote also on medicine, in astronomy, and mathematics.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I said before, this we didn't surveyed what we have when we start our modern education. Do we have anything to start from? We didn't do. Even in the knowledge in Ge'ez, the knowledge in Arabic, we didn't
Research.
start from it. That is the problem. The knowledge which is in maybe enlightened people. There are many enlightened people, which can be starting point for different disciplines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his contribution in that regard is so greater.
So great, yeah. Yes. I introduced his work.
Yeah.
Even understanding what he said is very difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as Ethiopia, and Ethiopia is the first country in the world which the Christianity and the Muslims, the first who accepted Christianity in Ethiopia. I think as in a Christian, when we see in a Christian, for example, we have different places just to visit tourists. They came and they visit different places in Ethiopia that were done by the Christian community. Like that one, even the Muslims community, they have wonderful things just to show for other peoples, those who live around the world. They have many things just to show for others. So I think the Muslim community or the Muslim faith by itself can be a tourist attraction. So the government, I think, should work more.
This picture displays a visit of Haile Selassie, Emperor Haile Selassie, in 1960s to Durre Sheikh Hussein. You see the Imam of the Durre is behind, in front of, guiding the emperor to the shrine.
Okay, to the shrine.
Yeah, the emperor, you know, you can see his leg without shoes, bare feet. Yeah. So
what was
it is a respect. This is how local people do when they move within the shrine.
Since it's a holy place.
Holy place, yes. So now we can see also different sultans of different regions and their palaces. This is a palace of Sultan Abba Jafar. This one is a palace of Sheikh Hassan Muhammad Sheikh Hojali, you know, Al Hassan Muhammad, his palace, and this is his picture. This one for Sultan Abba Jifar. Also again, Emperor Haile Selassie with Sultan Ali Mira of Afar. Yeah. Here you can see also another Sultan of Afar, Sultan Muhammad Yayu, and Sultan Ali Mira with another very nice recent picture.
Yeah, what is the word Sultan refers
It's,
to?
a leader, prominent leader of the community. Yeah, that is Sultan.
It's like a
Governor, it's a title, yeah. Imam, Sultan, Garad, this is administrative titles. It's titles. Yeah. The other one is from Somali, Sheikh Robali Faraj. It's a Ugaz of Somali people. Yeah, here you can see other scholars who contribute a lot. This one from Addis Ababa, Haji Musa Kikia, who introduced the Muslim community as Jama'at Tabligh, who teaches Islam by going to different places from place to place. He has a big contribution in educating people and especially young Ethiopians. And also Sheikh Zainu Muhammad Noor from Addis Ababa has a great contribution in Addis. Others are from southwestern Ethiopia. For example, here, Sheikh Badruddin Haji Surur. You can see this is his work, his contribution. He wrote in different things. This is biography of the Prophet Muhammad in Arabic. Okay. And also this is how to see the moon when Ramadan appears. Yeah, this is biography of local people, local scholars of that area.
I'm very pleased to be here. I strongly encourage other people to visit this museum. Having such a museum contributes a lot in drawing tourists to the country. This is also another opportunity for our country to earn foreign currency. Apart from the tourism advantage, it truly paves a new door for Ethiopians to understand our history in depth. Another fact is having this sort of museum in the capital Addis Ababa is pretty indispensable from the point of view of image building through tourism. In the same token, it's easier for the residents and others to come and learn about the ancient tools, relics, literature books, prominent Islam scholar works, and their contribution for the development of Islam. I will keep on encouraging others to pay a visit to this museum.
You see, in western Ethiopia, you can see prominent scholars like Sheikh Said Budala, known as Abret Sheikh, and Sheikh Isa Hamza, Yakatbare Sheikh. They are well-known scholars. Also, Sheikh Ahmed Dalati is from southern Ethiopia, but he resides for a long period in Addis Ababa. He used to receive scholars when they come from countryside and give them space to teach in Addis. So he has a big contribution in welcoming scholars from rural side. Here you can see Hajjuzul Makan is a muazzin, imam of Anwar Mosque, the great mosque in Addis. Here you can see Haji Sheikh Muhammad Rajabu, also from Sidama area, also big scholar and imam. Here you can see the contribution of Ethiopian Muslims in modern Ethiopia. They established Ethiopian Supreme Council. You can see their pictures. Yeah, all scholars. Sure. Starting from Haji Muhammad Thani Habib, the one we mentioned before. And this is also Haji Muhammad Thani Habib when they make elections, to internal elections. Exactly. Yeah, for also this Haji Muhammad Thani Habib with meeting of his meeting with many scholars. Also, this one, also another election for for the institution. This represents that period, and also scholars. Their meeting, the visit of some prominent people, leaders to Ethiopia from Muslim world. They came to Ethiopia, and also you can see here the imams of Anwar Mosque, different scholars. The document you see here also represents this period. It displays the modern Ethiopian, especially in Addis Ababa.
It has been almost 5 years since the museum was established. From day one on, several tourists have been visiting it. For example, high government officials, including Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Deputy Prime Minister Dammaqe Mokonnin, and other officials have paid a visit. Such a visit has been very rewarding. Similarly, from outside, there are visitors from different countries like Nigeria, Algeria, Egypt, Uganda, and from Turkey, as well as other neighboring countries. Their feedback was very constructive. The museum introduces the history of Ethiopia in general. It's an ideal place to visit.
This one is the Amharic translation of Quran, which we discussed before, translated by Haji Muhammad Thani Habib and Sheikh Sayyid Muhammad Sadiq, with a group of scholars who edited their translation. This also another work of Haji Muhammad Thani Habib, a biography of the Prophet Muhammad in Amharic. Yeah. These are different magazines in Amharic, which about Ethiopian Muslims, about Islamic religion in general, like Bilalu, Muslim Guddai, Salafia. It represents, modern writing.
Okay.
Yeah. So here you see radio of Sheikh Sayyid Muhammad Sadiq. He used to use this machine, Philips radio.
Philips.
Radio. We can tell a story of this person standing here.
Okay.
This tells many things. He was very conscious man. He know his period. He's, very aware the politics of the period, and he reads many magazines of that time, especially which were written in Arabic. So he technologically also, is advanced. Not only his knowledge, he was critical in politics. He was critical in every issue of concerning Ethiopian society.
Good.
He used to write in well-known magazines like Addis Zaman and others.
So his contribution by far was the greatest.
Yeah, great contribution.
And what was this?
This is also a photocopy machine used by this person.
Okay, the same person.
Yeah, because he used to work in foreign affairs.
Okay, Ministry of
Foreign Affairs. At the same time, a Muslim leader.
Okay.
And also he make scholars, he called for Muslims to modern education.
So his role in modern education is also another important.
Yes, another important. He has a great contribution. Here many Ethiopian history books, all because we present Islam also mentioned in this, even though it doesn't have great section, but mentioned in one way or another in these books. These are some magazines in Arabic language. For example, we can take here Al-Alam, which started in 1942 in Ethiopia. Still continue. There are also other like Az-Zaman and other newspapers, not magazine, there are newspapers. This part represents the Ethiopian Muslim protest. The committee which is formed by prime minister to found Ethiopian Muslim Supreme Council. It's the first committee to start.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are some important, prominent scholars in academia, like Professor Hussein Ahmed and also Professor Jamal Abdul Qadir also.
Generally, we need to cultivate the habit of visiting historical places, including museums. In this regard, the role of artists, diaspora, and the media organizations is very instrumental in promoting such a heritage. As an Ethiopian, we should create awareness for the general public to cultivate a habit of exploring historical and cultural sites.
Okay, now we moved to another section. Here, this small hut displays traditional hut. We call it harima.
Harima.
Yeah. It's also zawiya, khalwa. It's a teaching center. It's also library and a meditation center for Sufi scholars.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, now we enter to harima. Normally when we enter to harima, we should barefoot. We have to be in barefoot. It is a clean, you know, when you want to do prayer, you have to take ablution. So this is materials, utensils used for ablution, for making wudu. You clean yourself. There is a special way of doing it. It carries water. Always scholars carry in their hand or here with water for wudu.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very important.
We call
Always.
that wudu.
Wudu, yes, wudu. To start to pray, you have to clean yourself and start praying.
I think
This
that is typical of doing before
yes,
prayer.
yeah, for prayer. So this is normally qil, but it has different names in different places. Also, in this area, you can see other teaching materials. This wooden board used for teaching children's. They start on this. The teacher write for them alphabet,
Arabic alphabet.
Then when they memorize this one,
We erase it.
erased, it washed
Oh, washed. Okay.
and dried, then he writes again,
Okay.
again and again, until they reach the level of using manuscript.
Okay.
They moved from this normally at the low level. So we call it lawh.
Law.
Lawh. Lawh used in low level, beginner. So now we enter to other.
What about these? What is the representation of?
It's a border for the clean area, for the tahara, for the harima. That's why we call harima. What harima means protected area.
I see.
You have to enter clean.
Okay. Otherwise, you can't do this.
You don't do that. Also, you have to.
It's going to be haram.
Haram, it is harima also
Okay, yeah, it's
connected.
connected with
Okay.
that one.
Yeah. Be clean, come, read, write,
Meditate,
meditate.
yeah.
Here you can see other teaching materials. This is also part of law with different designs. Just it is about models in the different sizes, in a different design. Yeah, some do it in this way. Others maybe they need in this form. It has different design. It's the same purpose with different size with different design. Yeah.
Speaking of this had small room,
Yeah.
when people see it, what is a very important thing that they learn? What makes them remember, especially with regard to the Muslim teaching and practice of religion?
Yeah. You remember here education, learning center, meditating center, ibadah, where you become alone and remember your God, when you are clean and not noisy things around you. And also, you can remember also knowledge production. They write here, far from children's alone. Yeah, because this is not for children. The main compound, little bit far from here, but in the same compound, not connected to this one. This is, yeah. So the scholar has his own house, the big mosque, and his small hut, where he meditates, where he teaches also important students, where he gives ijazah. Ijazah means license.
Okay.
License for his students, for his student, certify his student, even in meditating also, and also other subjects. You see, yeah. So it is very quiet area.
Interesting.
Quiet, clean,
And silent.
silent. You can come to yourself.
Nice. So it has various purposes.
Yeah, various purposes.
And what about this one?
Yeah, also it is it preserves books. What scholars writes, they put it inside. It is a little bit far from children.
Okay.
It shows way of mechanism, way of preserving.
Okay. That children are not allowed to.
Yeah, unless they are students.
So they have to go some level of understanding.
Understanding to come here. So you see, even preserving heritage, how they are conscious of heritage. You see this? This is a house.
Okay.
It just a carrier of the book.
Okay.
They can carry the book. When they move, they don't take it in their hand. They don't carry it in their hand like this. You see?
This bag.
Yeah, with this bag. I will show you now. First, let us see how it looks like. It carried.
It's too big.
Yeah, it's big. At the same time, it is handwritten.
Okay. Is it handwritten?
Handwritten, yeah. Yeah. So,
What do we call this book?
manuscript in Arabic, makhtutat, handwritten manuscript. It was written on paper, old paper, not modern paper. That's another issue. Where papers come from? There are different kind of papers since 16th century which arrive here, where our historian didn't mention when they talk about many trade items. They didn't tell us about paper trade. All these books you see here, we have a manuscript from 16th century. So it was written on paper.
Interesting.
So you can, where paper come from?
Okay.
Yeah,
Trace back.
yeah. It shows also trade in a paper since that period. This is how books preserved. Anyway, that is another issue. You see this one?
Yeah.
This is a carrier for book. It was hung here, and far from dust. Also, when they move, they can easily take and go from place to place. maybe from their house to teaching center, from teaching center to the living area without touching with their hand. This indicates the old people have idea of proper handling of books, binded with leather.
Okay.
You see, this is a leather with a
Very
different
properly
binded. It also preserves, again, the subject matter of inside. It also shows the bookmaking knowledge in Ethiopian Muslim tradition.
There is no doubt, because I think most Ethiopian people, especially those who live in Addis Ababa, I think they don't know exactly these places because it is not well, I think, promoted. So I think if most people know this, if such kinds of museums is here in Addis Ababa, I'm sure this museum will be filled by many people. So I think the founders they should to work more on promoting, and they must to help the young people especially to learn to just know how the Christian and the Muslims community, they have a strong relationships in history.
Display here considerable number of manuscripts in different disciplines, which, as I mentioned, written here or copied here. The original author sometimes maybe from outside, but for educational purpose, copied here. Or maybe written by local scholars and circulated in traditional schools. So this is, we give many attention for such collection because it is on its way to disappear and endangered, we can consider endangered heritage. So we want to preserve this. This one of the main objective we founded the museum. Some objects we need more studies in the future. There is very important information we should provide for our viewers. Okay. These are coins made in Ethiopia. This group is Aksumite coins. You can see on some of them a cross. Then we have also coins from medieval Islamic sultanates, like Yifat. Yeah. These coins, which you see it here, found by one of farmer in his farm, and then we bought it and displayed it here. It's a medieval coin.
Excavated there.
Yeah, it's by the farmer. Just when he's farming, he got a pot with money.
These are some of the costumes, if I'm not wrong, that tells us some significant story about the kings or the leaders. Can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, generally it represents clothing tradition in Ethiopia. Some indicates titles and important people who lead the Muslim community. This one, gift, is a gift for the museum, for establishing a museum from, I think, to Ustaz Muhammad Jamal, the founder of the museum. It was a gift from Bureau of Tourism, given
to the museum.
Yeah, to the founder of the museum. As you see, this kind of a clothes, it's a ceremonial clothes. When you make a sermon during Jum'ah prayer, you dress in this way. This, when the great scholars move to Jum'ah prayer or wedding or other gathering, they came with this, with their leg, all grace to the people. Part of clothing tradition, and also it's a symbol for Muslims. You see, when you see this one, you can identify this man is Muslim. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for you for coming here and introducing Bilalu Museum. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Well, viewers, this concludes today's episode of Explore Ethiopia, where we have seen all the nitty-gritties and paramount importance of lHabeshi Museum, which is located in Mekanissa, in the capital, Addis Ababa. I do hope that you have experienced all the beautiful bits and interesting aspects of the museum. Until I see you with another edition of Explore Ethiopia, thank you so much for watching us, and goodbye for me now.